Good morning. Welcome to Children's Worship, and we're going to begin with a video that tells the story of Doubting Thomas.
Have you ever heard something that was hard to believe? Did you know that one of Jesus' disciples had a hard time believing things he hadn't seen? His name is Thomas. We're going to tell Thomas a few amazing animal facts and see if he believes them. All right, time for our first amazing animal fact. Did you know that a gorilla purrs like a kitten? Thomas, do you find that hard to believe? I doubt it. Okay, here's our second amazing animal fact. Hummingbirds can fly backwards and upside down. Thomas, any thoughts? I'd have to see it to believe it. Moving on to our third and final amazing animal fact. Did you know that snails have over 10,000 teeth? Thomas, I don't believe that. Thomas, don't you remember that with God all things are possible, even these amazing animal facts? Well, as you can see, Thomas is a doubter, which is probably why he's often called Doubting Thomas. But did you know that Thomas is known for making one of the greatest belief statements of any of Jesus' disciples? How did that happen? Well, listen now to the true story of the doubting disciple who believed. On the Sunday evening that Jesus was resurrected, his close friends gathered in a room together. But Thomas was not there. They had seen the empty tomb earlier in the day, but still they had locked the door. They were afraid. Suddenly in their midst, Jesus appeared before them. "Peace be with you." Jesus spread out his arms to show them his hands. They could see the holes where the nails had been. "Peace be with you." The disciples were filled with joy. Later, the disciples went to find Thomas to share the amazing news. When the disciples told him, "Jesus is risen. We have seen him," Thomas did not believe them. "I won't believe unless I see the scars in his hands and touch him to know he's real. It's too hard to believe." The next week the disciples were together again in the room, and this time Thomas was there with them. Once again the door was locked, and once again Jesus appeared before them. "Peace. Thomas, see my hands. Thomas, touch my scars. Thomas, stop doubting and believe. My Lord and my God. Thomas, you believe because you see me. Blessed are those who have not seen, yet believe." Thomas was one of the first disciples to recognize that Jesus is not only the Lord, but he is also God. That's a pretty amazing belief from such a doubter. So remember, with God, all things are possible. So don't doubt. Believe.
Hope you enjoyed that video about the story of Doubting Thomas. Doubting Thomas. How do we know who to trust? How do we know what to believe in? Certainly a place to begin is paying attention to who it is that you trust in your life. And so we have people that we can trust, like our parents and grandparents and teachers. And so when they tell us something, then we know that we can trust that and believe that. As Christians, we also trust the Bible, and we trust Jesus' word. And Jesus' words tell us that we can trust that Jesus will always be with us. Even when we feel alone, we know that Jesus is there with us. We also believe Jesus in the time where we're remembering especially the resurrection at Easter, that the power of love is stronger than anything. They tried to kill Jesus, they tried to kill love, and they could not. Love triumphed over all. And so one of the ways that we live out this belief, this trust in Jesus, is by doing what Jesus says, and that primarily is to love one another. And so whenever we are trying to decide and choose how we're going to react and what we're going to do for somebody else, the first place to try to do something is to try to love the other person. And sometimes that is really hard. But the more we develop that love muscle, then the better we can do what Jesus tells us to do. In worship, we do something called the Confession of Faith, which is very often we use the Apostles' Creed. Today I'm going to sing one called I Believe, I Do Believe. It goes like this. You can join on in as you're able. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe in God the Almighty, Lord Creator, mighty Lord Creator, mighty Lord Creator. I believe in God the Almighty, Lord Creator, mighty Lord Creator, mighty Lord Creator. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe in Jesus, the Savior of all people, Savior of all people, Savior of all people. I believe in Jesus, the Savior of all people, Savior of all people, Savior of all people. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. And I do believe in the power of the Spirit, power of the Spirit, power of the Spirit. And I do believe in the power of the Spirit, power of the Spirit, power of the Spirit. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. What, Pastor? I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. I believe, I do believe, truly I believe it, truly I believe it, truly I believe it. Happy Easter. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Have a great day.